Hey DRMB, how's it going? Kulprit here again, and today I'm going to bring you another video, this time focusing more on the squad side of things. I left this in here because you can see me kind of going through the process. I'm looking for a squad, trying to find a good place to join up on, and I want to talk about a little bit of what I look for, and then I'm going to get into squad perks, what I feel are the best ones, with a little hierarchy. I know it depends on situation to situation, but a broad sense of what I think are the best ones and which ones I try to make sure are picked before other ones. So first what I'll do is, when I enter a game, the very first thing I do is check the squads. I really don't care if I'm on the winning team, losing team, spawn trapped, whatever. These things have a way of working themselves out over a match-to-match basis, and I tend to play longer sessions, so jumping from one match to another doesn't really work for me, because you could just get into another bad situation down the street on the next match. So I don't pay any attention to winning or losing team. What I'm more concerned about is finding a good squad that'll hopefully stick together and complement me. So what I look for is a good balance of 3 squad perks, and where I can add in the 4th and fill any holes that I see, and so that I have really all the perks and therefore all the buffs helping me, making me a more potent player. I mean, that's the object, that's the point. I get really kind of frustrated when I go in a squad and I see maybe 1 squad perk, and then I see another guy who's like level 25 and he has no squad perk. It's obviously he's running something else as a perk. But to me, like, that guy should be running squad sprint in order to help the other guys out, and everybody else will buff him up. But I know that's me from a team perspective, and not many people carry that thought. But that's what I would like to see. If you only have 1 squad perk, or maybe 2, run one of those. Even if it's not the one you absolutely want to do, because in the long run, you're making your squad mates more powerful, and that will help you in the long run. But I do understand it's hard when you're running lone wolf, so sometimes you have to do what you have to do, especially if someone's not running a perk like squad cover. You want to make sure you have that. I understand. Personally, my limit is 1 recon per squad, so if I look at a squad and it's got 2 recons, I'm gone. I want nothing to do with that squad. Listen, I understand that there are really good recons out there, ones that use sensors, use beacons, all that stuff, and those players are worth a lot, but I hardly ever find them. So just when you're looking at the squad screen, I will just rule out a squad right there. 2 recons, see you later. Ideally for me, I would like to see two assault guys, 1 guy running smoke, 1 guy running med pack, or if not smoke, maybe an M320, just to kind of blow up some walls, that kind of things. Utility. And 1 engineer, obviously, to handle armor. If for some reason we're on a map with no armor or really no destruction, say Metro or something like that, then fine. We don't really need an engineer too much. I mean, it never hurts. And 1 support guy, obviously, for the ammo and replenishing grenades and things like that. That's kind of my rough ideal. That obviously changes from map to map and game mode to game mode. I'm just giving you broad ideas here, what I'm looking for as far as like a balanced squad. Squad, the members, their kill to death doesn't really matter to me, because I know myself, I can have good games that follow right up with a terrible game, or maybe that guy's rushing MCOM, so he's 3-9. Who knows, But if all things being equal, kind of like, say I have 2 squads where I'm trying to choose between, they have decent perks, decent makeup, then yes, I'll go with the squad where the guys have a little bit better KD. It does indicate, in a rough sense, better players. I mean, obviously there's exceptions to that rule, but when you're making a quick judgment on the menus like that, that's what you have to go for. That's what you have to do. So there you go. By then, I've now got a good idea what squad I want. Usually this happens very quickly, because I can, like I said, I can eliminate some squads right off the bat. I mean, sometimes I look at a squads and I don't like any of them, and I say screw it, and I just start my own. This way I'm squad leader, I can kick guys out if I don't like what they're doing, if I don't think they're bringing anything to the team. Because typically I find if you do start your own squad, and you start doing pretty well, you'll see guys will join on you pretty quickly. So that's a route I'll go sometimes. But I'd much prefer to be in a more well-rounded squad with 3 guys that are contributing, have good perks, and are obviously PTFOing, obviously. So, then now I'm in my squad. What am I looking for here? I mentioned in my previous video that one of my biggest pet peeves by far is stacking squad perks. It annoys me to no end. I take it almost as a personal offense, like you are nerfing me, because, maybe now I don't have that extra sprint speed, maybe I don't have that extra ammo, maybe whatever it is, I just feel like you're letting me down. And it just, listen, I understand you spawn in real quick on engineer to take out a tank that's on C maybe. You forget, you have your squad explosion perk on, somebody else already has it. I get it, it happens. But, after a minute or 2 or a death or 2, you got to fix that. Come on, that's like a fundamental part of being in a squad, guys. Pay attention. I mean, that's what it comes down to. So, here we go. I'm going to run down my list of the perks that I personally how I rank them. Now, I understand I'm going to open myself up to a lot of probably discussion, argument, debate. That's what I want. Let me know how you feel. You convince me maybe that perk I put at the bottom should be at the top. Open my eyes to things. That's why we do these videos, guys. To open some debate, open some dialogue. So my number one, and this one is the easiest one for me. There was no doubt about that. Squad cover. We all know suppression is a bitch, and to me, nothing else really matters if you can't see and you can't shoot straight. Squad cover, I feel, does a pretty good job of negating that suppression. It won't negate it fully, but I notice a huge difference between when I have it or when I don't. Squad cover is my default perk all the time, and if someone else is running it, then I will move to a different perk, but I have to have this in my squad at all times. There's just no doubt about that. Number two for me, and this is probably a little bit debatable, squad ammo. I'm not the most accurate guy in the world. I like to run and gun a lot. I like to shoot a lot, so I tend to burn through some ammo. Now, if I'm running support, or perhaps if I have a really good support guy in my squad that's keeping tight with the squad, I might forego this in lieu of another perk. If that's the case, if I'm running support or if I have a really good support, I'd probably go with the squad frags here just so I could always keep the grenades going possibly. I don't know, it's just an idea. But typically, if I'm lone wolfing and I don't know my squad very well yet and I'm not running support, I will go squad ammo because nothing is more frustrating to me than when I run out of ammo and I have to pick a new gun up. It kills me. It drives me nuts, and it usually leads to my death. So squad ammo would be my number two. Number three, this is a little tough. This is kind of a swing spot for me. It would really depend on the game mode and the map, and that would be between squad suppression and the sprint. Now, some of you, I mean, they're both great perks. I could say these number 3 and number 4. I chose to kind of put these side by side because, while not mutually exclusive, I think they both lend themselves to different styles. So on a close quarters urban type map, think Metro, maybe Sienne Crossing here, Grand Bazaar, I would probably lean more towards squad suppression, something that's going to help you maybe attack that choke point. You know, when you're bogged down, you're shooting through doorways, that suppression might just help you rush that doorway enough that you can clear it and get through. Whereas in that type of a situation, sprint really isn't going to help you. In the reverse, squad sprint would help you more on type of a map, say a Caspian border, Operation Firestorm, even an urban map, potentially a Karkan, where you're doing a lot of running around. Obviously, sprint is great there. It's really going to help you limit your exposure as you're running from cover to cover. You know, think Caspian running across the streets where, you know, you could have 3 snipers cracking bullets at you. I mean, we've all been there, you know what I'm talking about. So there I would probably lean sprint. I would, you know, like I said, it's usually one or the other for me. I rarely would see a situation where I need both over another perk, you know, because I feel like I would be better suited to have something else instead of having both of these as my 3 and 4. So I just swung them in 3. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm sure some of you feel very differently about this, but that's just me. I love the sprint perk. I definitely feel like I'm running in mud when I don't have it. So I really like to have it, but there's some maps that just don't call for it. You don't do enough running. I tend to run myself right into trouble, so I don't mind when it's off too much tactically anyways. So my 4th perk, now mind you, this could be the 5th perk, whatever, would be the squad frags. I really love the extra grenade. It's more of my luxury perk for me. I tend to use nades as a tool. I use them as an aid to find people who are hidden. You know, I'll throw them and listen for voices, that kind of thing. And I will use them as a defensive, like a screen, or to block people from rushing me as I reload or heal up, that kind of thing. So I use grenades a lot. So having that extra grenade really is nice. You can throw one through a doorway. You know the guy's going to wait for that grenade to go off, and then they're immediately going to rush you. So if you can put another one in there with a nice little spacing, they're not going to expect it. You're going to get that kill. You're going to get your reload off, and you'll be ready to go. I do really like this perk, but like I said, it's not crucial because it's really only giving you the one more grenade. And while I really do like it, I do think there are better perks as far as for a squad and for you know, the playing the objective, that kind of thing. And the 5th would be squad flak. I would really only run this one if I know the other team has a bunch of TARs that are maybe putting down a lot of claymores, that type of thing, because that's where I feel it really helps you. That's where I would jump this higher. It can really help with that, but overall I think there's just better perks to be used. You know, if this would be a situational, if you know it's going to help you out, go for it. Now the last one, obviously you're all probably wondering why I didn't mention it. This one's kind of an exception. It's squad explosion. Me, I feel if you're running engineer, you have to run squad explosion. While I might look down at Grimace because it's not helping me directly, I understand that it's helping me indirectly because it's making you a much more potent engineer. So typically, if you're running engineer, you got to have this on. Now, if there's 2 engineers, then you pick something else. But you know, I totally understand that one of those squad perks is going to be taken up by this. And while it doesn't affect me directly, it's going to make us a better squad by quite a bit. So that one's pretty much a default with the engineer class. So there you go. There's a quick little rundown. I'm just curious how you guys feel, what you guys think about it, how you would rank them. Where do you agree, disagree? Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. This one ran a little long, but, I wanted to work down the list and talk about each one. So thanks for listening. Please post your comments. I'd love to hear them. And I will talk to you next time, guys. Take care. Have a good day.